Man, I really hope this setup is good. Hopefully you guys can see my face too. If not, let me know. I'll readjust it so that you guys can just see me while I do this. But yeah, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 360 in this thing, baby, representing TKOG. And I've been on a bender with my Dragonmaids. Man, every time I pick up the deck, it's hard to put it back down, you know what I mean? It's just really, really fun. Borderline just like addicting how fun this deck is to play. And it's just really good, so it's like the best of both worlds. You know, I have a blast whenever I play this deck, and I always do well. I took it to locals today, and went undefeated. I only played 4 rounds, so it's not a big deal. I'm mainly just showing off the new list. I played against Unchained. I played against, I'm trying to remember, Dragon Link. I also have all those matches recorded. So I'm going to be uploading the matches as well. And I played against, what was the other deck? Thank you, Lord Jesus. There's Unchained, Dragon Link, and UAs, I think. UAs. And then I was supposed to play against Tri-Brigade, but he actually didn't want to play me. So I just won my last round for free. But let's go ahead and get into the list, you guys. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it a lot. Those who sub and stay subbed, kind of just stick around, you know, and see where the channel is going to go. I honestly appreciate it a lot. If you guys would like to, you know, voluntarily support my channel, I would appreciate that as well. There are multiple ways you can do it. It's down in the description box below. The links are all in the description box below. All different ways that you can support this channel. And especially joining the Discord, I recommend that. That's really good because you can also get in touch with other subscribers, and it's a blast. Like, it's a cool community. Everybody gets along really well. People play together, bounce ideas. You'll learn some stuff just for being in there. So yeah, with all of that said, let's go ahead and get into this list. Honestly, it was crazy. Actually, I think I might open the packs now. Let's open the packs. I'm gonna do it backwards. I'm gonna open the packs, then I'm gonna get into the list. But yeah, I did. Oh, I wanted that alien link monster for my Ogdoadics. The Heavenly General. What? Okay, I'll read that later. But yeah, you guys are gonna see like how much I played through. I played through Torrential, Strike, a Pop, and an Ash Blossom. It was like a sort of like Raigeki Break. It was against an ultra rare. It was against the Unchained deck. So he Torrentialed me, he Striked me, he Ashed me, and then he used the Raigeki Break trap to pop one of my cards, and I kept going. I didn't stop. He did not stop me. It was crazy. This deck is very powerful. I mean, I say that, but at this point, it's just like, you guys have to see it to believe it, because I feel like some people really just wouldn't even believe how good this deck is. It's so good. So there, we didn't get any secrets, but we did get an Ultra. It's that cool Beetle guy. The Invincible Atlas. Pretty cool deck. Not like amazing. I mean, I would give everything a chance before I knock it. You know, I try it before I even, you know, decide whether it's good or bad. And that's how you kind of figure out if it's good or bad. But yeah, really, really fun. I plan on going back sometime this week, hopefully. It's not as easy as it used to be. Just the wife and the kids. And anytime I go, like, you know, it's like I have to leave her with the kids, and she doesn't always want to do that, you know, be stuck by herself, you know, with them. You know, she'd rather, at least if she's with the kids, she wants me to be there to help her. So hopefully, you know, you guys understand. I know people are like, you don't come to locals enough. And this locals is really cool because they do tourneys like every day. So for the starters, I have it organized: starters, extenders, and then relative cards to the engine. We have 3 Dragons of Veen. This card is absolutely cracked. Play 3. My list, I played 3. Card is just insane. This card resolving is just ridiculous. People just started to Ash Blossom this card because they're seeing what it does. It's just so powerful. It's like the juice of the deck. It's like this deck has so much gas, honestly. 3 copies of Remus. Remus is better than Ravine because he equates to Ravine with an extender engraved, which actually is relevant. I play so many Dragoonity cards. This might as well just be a Dragoonity, Heretic, Dragonmaid, Rocket deck, you know. It's just a Dragonmaid with a bunch of good Dragon engines in it, but the Dragoonities really do help the deck out a lot. Consistency-wise, they let you see any dragon that you want. As far as extending, they let you push through relevant hand traps like Ash, Imperm, Vader, even Gamma, cards like Nibiru. And then as far as critical mass going second, these cards equate into Boral Swords and access codes and just all kinds of shenanigans. There's so much tomfoolery. It's just crazy. Well, not the access code because of the Dragon Lock. I don't even play access code. But I'm just saying you just get so much resources just off of resolving a Rimus. It's just insane, you guys. Very, very powerful card. And then for more starters, we play 3 copies of Parlor. She is actually super strong right now because she's Wind. I've been doing a lot of Tempest plays lately. I've been banishing Tempest a lot off of Armogram and just using it to search Parlor or Rimus. So these being Winds make them easier to access extenders. I really, please Konami, please put Goldsark to 3. Because Goldsark to 3 at this list is crazy. So Goldsark equates to a follow-up of Tempest coming back. And then it also searches any Wind Dragon, which is super relevant because like these are like some of your best starters. Super duper powerful cards. We also play 3 copies of Chamber Dragonmaid. All of these cards are bonkers. 3 copies of Black Metal, absolutely bonkers. These are all of like your 1-card starters as well as your 1-for-1. So as you can see, these like you have like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17 really busted starters. Like these all do stuff by themselves. They're relevant to 1-card combos. Anything that makes Romulus in this deck really powerful, extremely powerful. Anything that makes Romulus equates to a minimum of 2 disruptions plus multiple follow-ups, multiple. So like your board will get broken in this deck, even if they conveniently can do it twice, which most decks have never done that. They've maybe been able to do it once, and it's always with something like Drop of Dark Ruler. They can't just like literally break the board because it's just that strong. You'll still make another board anyways. It's just, this deck is very rinse, wash, and repeat. It's not a one-trick pony. It's like the strongest combo deck for me right now. It's a bit stronger than Drytron in the sense that it plays through more hand traps. The ceiling on Drytron I think is a bit higher because Herald is just, you know, 4 or 5 negates, sometimes 6 negates. But this deck plays through Disruption better. It's a lot stronger going second. And it doesn't just fold to a Droll and Lockbird. You know, there's so much more that you can do even under Droll. Even today, I had a really like bad hand. I would say it's a bad hand because I basically had like 1 extender and 1 starter, and like literally one of the starters wasn't even like a true starter. It was just like a normal summonable dragon, which made it a starter because I have so many extenders. And I still made Verde Anaconda. So I ended on Heretic Spheres in Extra Monster Zone, Verde, and Dragoon through the Droll with a really bad hand. Like, it was a bad hand. So it was insane. Very good deck. Very powerful. All of these, just by themselves, can just full combo. You can OTK your opponent with 1 Black Metal, 1 Chamber, 1 Parlor, a Rhoda, which is basically just Goldsark. This is a Rhoda. 1-for-1 is just a Rhoda. Deck's just very powerful. We also play 1 Nurse. This is incredible to draw. Like, even though you play 1, like, it's one of those one-offs that's so incredible to draw. It just, oh my goodness, there's just so much tomfoolery with this deck. It's just so explosive. You get your board wiped by Battle Butler. You can actually, in the Print Kids matchup, you force Butler multiple times because you put up Negate, and they have to chain Butler to like your changeover, and then you fuse from hand, make Shout anyways, or they chain Butler when you they see you're about to make a Crystal Wing, and when you force Butler, you keep playing. Because you can make Shao and Crystal Wing in the middle of your combo before you're even halfway done. You're not even like 40% done, and you can make those, and that forces out the Butler. This deck's just so good. And then we play Double Tracer and the Recharger. So I do recycle my Striker because those follow-up plays with the Recharger are just so nuts. So when you recycle your Striker, you end up going like normal summon Nurse, Nurse effect, target Chamber, Chamber summon itself, Chamber at Hospitality. You activate Hospitality, summon Parlor. Parlor's gonna dump a Tiding, and you're gonna send a Anagram off the Parlor. You're already gonna have Changeover, so you won't even need a dump Changeover. Then you take any one of those, link it into the Striker Dragon you recycled, and then you pop it and you add your Recharger. Then you send Recharger and you summon your Red MD. You use Red MD, and then you summon out your Guy Derek, or Gay Derek, however you want to pronounce it. You can add Baby Rock, because normally I don't make Crystal Wing. A lot of times I just have so much Then you end up making your Crystal Wing on your follow-up. You make Spheres, you make Shao, then you make Dragoon. So this happens all off of one card, which is just Nurse. When you recycle Striker, you end on Crystal Wing, Spheres, Shao, and you make Dragoon for your troubles. It's crazy. Like your recovery board will almost look better than the first board you made, minus like having a tidying, you know what I mean? It's just that powerful. Like you do stuff like that and people they feel like, what's the point? Like I went through all this to break the board and now I'm staring at an even worse board and I have like one card in hand. It's crazy. So those are all the starters. Each one can equate to a higher value depending on which one it is, but they're starter nonetheless, and some are obviously better than others, but you just need to draw at least one of them to really be able to play. So now we're getting into Extenders, which is the 3 quick launch. This is honorary as a starter and an extender. It's very unique in itself, just like 1-for-1 and Gold Sark are extenders. Your Dragonmaids are actually extenders when you need them to be. That's the beauty of this deck, is its flexibility and diversity in the cards that you don't end on a crap ton of negates, you actually end on bounces, pops, and negates. And B, your starters can be extenders, and your extenders can be starters. Anything that makes Romulus can be a starter, and also your extenders can make Romulus. So it's just a really good balance. I love the way this deck flows. It's just so perfect. We have 3 quick launch, then we have 3 What Legacy Guard Dragon. Very, very, very powerful spell. Pisty is still the nuts. Like, Pisty is insane. In fact, when I get Drolled, like I'll get like Droll, Lancia, and Nibiru. In fact, I have a video coming for you guys where I combo through Droll, Lancia, and Nibiru, all 3 of them in the same turn. And it just makes those cards look like a joke, like how good this deck is. And you will make Verde Anaconda, you will end up you'll Guard Dragon combo under it, just with a little Pisty play, and you'll make Romulus under the Verde, and you'll just do a little Romulus play, dump an extender like Tempest or Armogram, then you're basically you're just gonna keep going. Like then you end up making Borosword and you just OTK your opponent. It's really, really cool. But if you're going first, you just make Spheres and then you do the Guard Dragon play for Pisty, and then you make Romulus under the Spheres, and then you dump Tempest or Armogram off of your Ravine, or you just add Glow if you have Gay Dirk and you still haven't done that portion of your combo. But just if you got to that point and you haven't used Remus, you just go for Dragoon. If you've used Remus, then you go for the Guy Dirk, you do Heretic Dragon of Atum, and you just full like LP basically. It's crazy. Deck is like it's super fun, but like there's so many routes, and it's very intricate. It's not like delicate or fragile. It's very intricate, being that like your order is structured based on what you play around. And after you've played around that and you see you've gotten to the point where if your opponent had that hand trap, they would have used it. Then you kind of, you have to basically continue with the order that you already set up. So like, you think your plays through while you're holding your hand, and then you play the cards. You don't play the cards, and then think about what you're going to do as you're just resolving effects. Like, you've already comboed in your mind, you're just playing it out now, which is kind of like the best way to play this deck. Because it can get pretty difficult, being that if you want to play this deck effectively, you have to play around the best hand traps. If you don't, you'll get punished severely for overextending when you were supposed to set up a Spheres, or you were supposed to summon Verde, which I'm playing Verde now. You're supposed to summon Verde to see if they have the Nib. Like, you literally sometimes will use this to make them throw Nib out of their hand. So like, you'll summon this, and then they don't have a choice but to Nib, and you do that on purpose because like, if you got to the point where you could be Nib and you still haven't, then you know what they're doing is they're waiting for you to summon Savage and then chain Nibiru to Savage, and they're going to tribute the Spheres, but because you're locked out of lights, you can't summon another Spheres, and you're limited to what you can make. You could still make Dragoon, but like, the idea is to force the Nib out, and then you just full combo anyways. You don't really need the Dragoon. It's just icing on the cake. Like, your inboard was good without Dragoon, so there's just so many ways that you can do that, and so many ways you can force the hand trap out of your opponent's hand, whether they like it or not. Just really, really strong deck. Hospitality, insane card. Sorry that I went on that rant, but it's more to help you as the viewer to understand the deck better and learn how to play, you know, to skillfully outplay your opponent. This deck can do that. So Hospitality, insane card. Extender, summons from hand or grave. It foolishes your high-level anagrams, just super relevant to your grind game, your recursion, and also your pluses in the battle phase. This deck gets a main phase, and then it gets your opponent's standby. Every standby in every battle phase is like an extra main phase. So this deck makes so many extra plays outside of just your turn. It's really, really powerful. It's really good. Your opponent's battle phase, another main phase, go +5. Your opponent's standby phase, another main phase, go +2. Your standby, go +2. Your battle phase, go +5. You know, it's just so overwhelming that the Dragonmaid portion of this deck alone is just so overwhelming with resources that it's just like decks like Sky Striker and other resource-based decks are the only ones that could truly keep up, but even then they get outpaced. Nocto, Red MD, Armogram, Tempest, Absolrouter, Glow, Legatus, and Boot Sector Launch. These are all extenders. Boot Sector Launch is not very great to draw. You rather search it 100,000% because it's like a blank card when you draw. It's something that you wish it was something different, but these are all extenders. You can see that they slowly diminish in value as you get lower and lower and lower down to the very bottom. But these are all extenders. Nocto, absolutely incredible, phenomenal extender. Chain Block makes Black Metal Resolve. It's just so good. It is so good. This card is a high level for Shao. It's an extender to make Romulus, to make Ravine, into like just such a free play because you won't get Gamma because you chain block your Romulus. Making Verde Anaconda with this card is nuts. I mean, this card is just phenomenal. It's a 3-of. I just do not break on this card. It's just way too good. Red MD, great extender. We have Armogram. This card puts in work. I have smacked shit all players just summoning this on my follow-up from grave to target, wind it, and negate it. It's just a negate every turn at 2900 attack. Very, very powerful card. You can also equip stuff because you are playing the Dragoonity card, so you can get its other effect, but you really don't do the work to get that. You just use it as a Dragon Ruler. That's a negate. That's at 2900 attack. And then Tempest, very, very powerful. You have 2 of these in the grave. Every turn, you're just getting out beat sticks. I do like the classic Banish Tempest to summon Armogram. It's just a powerful play. So I like to get these in grave as soon as possible because the resources this deck gets are just overwhelming. You'll have 6-7 cards in hand with a full field and no more zones. You'll have no more zones left to summon monsters. You will not have any space. Like, it's that good. Absolrouter. Dragoonity Glow is very, very good as an extender. Especially if you're Romulus got hand trapped and you had it, it's just perfect. It can search Armogram if you just need to extend and summon like cards like Verde, Spheres, you know, whatever. Normally, if you make Verde, you've already had Spheres up there. So Verde is always going under Spheres anyways. It's just very, very, very good. Armogram and also Mistleton is one of the main targets, Mistleton, so that you can do the combo that gets you access to Heretic Dragon of Attune. This card is LP on steroids. It's actually easier to do than the LP, and the play is a lot harder to telegraph, and your opponent will have hand trapped you to oblivion before you got there. So the classic thing that I do, you guys will see my videos, is I'll play through a crap ton by summoning cards like, or attempting to summon Crystal Wing. I'll summon Shell. I'll attempt to resolve blowout cards. I'll activate Chamber. You know, I'll use my extenders. And then they'll just negate. They'll imperm, they'll Veiler, they'll drop this, they'll drop that. And then the big thing is when I just summon Romulus after all that's happened, and it's just game. It's just that good. Legatus, great card. If you have got hand trapped on your Ravine, this helps you to play through it. This is an extender that also makes Romulus, which is extremely relevant. And then finally the Boot Sector Launch. So you have pretty much almost the same amount of extenders that you have starters. And if you guys have noticed that trend in my Dragonmaid list, it's always like that for a reason, because it's like an exact science. You have the perfect amount of each to where you can always draw at least one of each. If you draw this one starter and one extender, you can minimum play through 2 low impact hand traps or 1 high impact hand trap. If it's like Veiler Imperm, you can play through 2. Just with a starter and extender. And if they're like really top notch, like the best of the best, like something like Remis with or something like Chamber with something like War Legacy Guard Dragon, it's just insane. We have Remis, not Remis, we have Ernest, we have Lorper, we have Changeover, we have Triple Tiding. I moved down to 2 Changeover because what I did was I had to make space in the main deck for the Dragoon package. I started playing 3 bricks. Yes, I know. It's 3 bricks in a 60 card deck, and what it does is I've been testing against Droll. People love to Droll me, people love to Lancia me, people love hand trapping me, and I noticed a lot of the times playing this deck that when I got drolled and I got hit with a couple hand traps, when I could end on spheres, I would have extra monsters that I just couldn't do anything with because I didn't have a fusion spell, I didn't have any tuners. So it was like I just had just monsters that I could have done something with. And then I just started testing with Dragoon, and I did test hands against really good hand traps, and I noticed I would get drolled and I'd get hit by Ash and Imperm, and I could still end on spheres with Dragoon, sometimes even with the Shao on top of that. So I definitely think that Dragoon was worth cutting. I cut 2 kitchens and 1 changeover for the Dragoon package. Kitchen was the only thing that kind of hurt, but I have so many starters, it almost feels like it doesn't even matter. And since I used to play 3 kitchen and no Remus, and I only played 1 Dragon Ravine, you can kind of consider the 2 extra Dragon Ravines and the 3 Remus that I started playing to be 5 starters as opposed to 3 low quality starters. Kitchen is not as good as Remus or Dragon's Ravine, so it almost is like I got better starters than her, so I don't really feel like I'm losing. I do miss her, just she's just a Dragonmaid that I miss, but it's not like she affects my deck not being here. So we're at the point now where we're finally not playing Kitchen after testing for so long. So Tiding, we know this card is insane. My defensive cards, I play Dark Ruler and Droplet in the main. I don't think that 1-for-1 cute little butt cheek hand traps are gonna do the job for you. You can Imperm Valor, they're gonna combo. You can drop Nib, you can drop Gamma, you can drop Lancia. The cards I like are the cards that break the board as opposed to preventing it from happening, but y'all don't want to talk about that. So we also play 2 talents because we only have 2 right now. I've been borrowing these from a friend for a while. We need to get a 3rd so that I can start playing 3. I already know what I would cut if I had the 3rd. But yeah, these cards are just insane. And if I wasn't playing the Dragoon package, I honestly have 3 more flex spots to play some crazy hand trap. Or I could even not play talents, which would be insane. I could even do something like cut the 3 Dark Rulers and the 3 cards for the Dragoon package, and then put out like Crossout Designator with 3 blowout hand traps that I know hurt me. Like put in 1 Droll, 1 Nib, and then put in like 1 Dimensional Shifter because of Flunderies. And that's something else. You know, there's just so many possibilities because this is a 60 card deck, and it's really powerful at that. And you don't need a lot of cards to combo, so there's a lot of flex in this deck. There's a lot of flex space. The Dragoon package, mandatory, raises your ceiling. You play through every hand trap under the sun and still make a Dragoon for your troubles. And at that point, you're negating your opponent's top deck, or you're negating one of their starters. Because they normally, when I'm in the point where I have to rely on Dragoon, my opponent has either hand trapped me to the point where I have no other option, or my hand was just not that great and I was still able to combo through multiple. And then the last 3 cards, just like the Dragoon package, these are like kind of 6 cards you don't really want to draw. I will say I have comboed with Red Eyes. I've used it as a Shao target, which is actually pretty clutch. After I looped the Black Metals the 2nd time, I searched this, and this actually acted as a combo piece because I knew I wasn't going to summon Dragoon that turn, and I knew I wasn't going to need it, so it's pretty cool. It's not bad to draw. Mistleton's also not bad to draw either. It is a high-level dragon, and at that, you can use it to equip the Gator. That synergizes with your Armogram. Baby Rock is probably the worst one to draw, because it's like it can't really act as a combo piece in itself. Like, these can still be targets, but the thing with the Baby Rock is like if you're not resolving Gator, it kind of really doesn't do anything. It just doesn't. So it's like kind of the only card that you can draw that you're like, dang, that and Dark Magician, you draw those 2 and it's like they're just basically Dragon Ravine fodder. And then Amorphate Sloth. So something else, I didn't get to do it this time, but I'm coming back to locals. I'm going to revise the list again. I think I might test without Dragoon and just put in Amorphage Lechery. Put in Amorphage Lechery and just to go Spheres, Summon Sloth, lock them out of their extra deck, lock them out of spells. They can't win. They couldn't break the board in the first place. The extra deck is 2 Spheres, 1 Rom. Verde, if you summon any of the Link 2s in your deck, it's like you just feel like you're winning. These are just so powerful. Some of the best links in the game. Striker and Pisty, and then Sword. Dude, this deck baits Dragoon like nobody's business. It, like, literally, Chamber baits Dragoon. They either negate Chamber or they negate Changeover, and then you just Boros Sword them to death. We have Shao. I started actually playing 1 Shao now because I worked on extra deck space. To fit the Verde and the Dragoon, I basically cut I cut down from one of my copies of Shao. And then I played 2 Romulus, then I played 3 Syl, then I played 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, and then I finally just decided to play the Dragoon package. Because it used to be 2 Shao and then a second Romulus, and it could have also been 3 Spheres, 2 Romulus, because like Romulus is really good in this deck. I've wanted to play 2 so many times, but the Verde kind of act as like a secondary Romulus, and since like it's like a follow-up Blink 2 that can secure game for you, that you can get under heaps of pressure, so it's really, really strong. And then the other blow-off fusion is Dragoon. This deck puts out the scariest Dragoon in my opinion, next to Drytrons, because you have a ton of other powerful monsters that all have to each be respected with a strong enough bait that actually pressures my board for me to use them. Because I don't negate cards. If it's not going to break my board, I just don't negate them. So like, you guys will see in my video, like, I legit was playing against Dragon Link. I did not use my negate until he had no cards in hand. Because I'm the hardest person to bait, like, if you play against me. Like, it's just not going to work. My poker face is too on point, and I don't negate stuff that just because people do that, like other Yu-Gi-Oh players do that, like me. With my negates, I'm so patient, like, it'll actually be to the point where you're just like, are you going to use it or not? Because, like, I literally will not negate anything unless it can break my board. I'm, like, just too smart to be outplayed like that. We have Crystal Wing, Savage, we have Gay Dirt for the Synchros, and then LP. LP is not banned. Card is insane. This card is so good. This card is cracked. If LP were legal, I would just play this instead of LP. It's that good. It's easier to set up than LP, and you can make it under so much disruption with LP. It's just, this is, I'm sorry you guys, I know it sounds crazy, y'all might think I'm crazy. This is better than LP. It's better. It's better. And it's not banned either. And that is the deck profile, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I have so much more content coming for you guys. Lots of duels from locals. I hope to go to locals at least one more time this week. But with that said, God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. And be safe, you guys. Peace.